again to the Slow Burn Pro Wrestling Podcast, where all pro wrestling storylines live. I am your host, Matt Brandon, as always, and I am glad to be here with you on this lovely, lovely Wednesday evening. Guys, we have had a week so far. We're midway through it, and we got some more to go. I'm going to be honest with you. Tonight's a big night. Huge night for AEW Dynamite tonight. We're going to get to that. I will completely preview Dynamite when we get to the end of the show. But before that, we obviously have a lot to talk about, right? Huge night of NXT last night. Big Monday Night Raw. I almost did a special show yesterday just because Raw was that good, but you know what? I'm going to stick to the schedule, right, where we do Mondays, Wednesdays, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, okay? That's the slow burn schedule. So, you don't like that? Come help me out maybe, all right? So, there you go. But hey, like I said, this week it's been kind of a slow build, I thought. You know, there hadn't been a ton talk. I think everybody needed to really just kind of lay back and take a real big, deep breath after the Royal Rumble. I mean, we all deserve that because, I mean, God, was that a great freaking Rumble. But we knew Raw was going to be just as good the next night, especially when you had such huge events, had so many big things happen at the Rumble. You just had to know that Raw was going to come out and really be big. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Raw, okay? First off, the show was outstanding, all right? It wasn't the best show of the year, but at the same time, had a lot of positives in it. Let's get to it, all right? First off, show opens with literally the promo of the year, all right? Literally the promo of the year. The Jey Uso promo was absolutely wonderful. Guys, to me, that's wrestling. That's what wrestling is all about. It stirs emotion. And you know what? That was very real emotion coming out from Jey Uso. I mean, the eyes welling up. You could see the tears starting to flow. And that comes from that passion that he has, and not to mention the fact that literally the fans are so much with Jey Uso right now. That promo was so full of emotion, so full of passion, and I'm going to tell you right now, guys, that is the promo of the year so far. You know, Punk's had some good stuff. We've mentioned some good promos. It's going to take a hell of a promo to beat the Jey Uso promo from Monday Night Raw. It just had a little bit of everything. Had a little bit of the Uso humor. It had the pure passion with the tears. We had the yeet. I mean, we literally had everything. Jey Uso is on top of the damn world right now, okay? Jey Uso runs wrestling. You asked me 3 weeks ago, I would have said Cody and Jey Uso, easily the two most over guys in the company, all right? Right now, I'm going to change that statement a little bit and say Jey Uso is easily the most over guy in the company right now, and that includes Cody Rhodes, all right? It is what it is. It includes Roman Reigns. It is what it is, all right? There's nothing more over. So with that said, why are you mad? Why are you pissed? Like, wrestling fans, if you're upset that Jey Uso won this Royal Rumble, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, the dude has done everything right. Like, okay, you weren't a fan of the Usos. You weren't a fan of tag team wrestling. Maybe you didn't like the bloodline, okay? I don't care. Maybe you don't like Rikishi. I don't care. Jey Uso has done it right. He has rode a wave of momentum now for well over a year as a singles wrestler. In that time, he has captured tag gold. He has captured the Intercontinental gold. And now he sets to main event WrestleMania. Like, and you're mad? You're mad about that? Like, really? Come on. I don't understand it. I really don't. And again, we go into the tribalism stuff of wrestling all the time. We know that, and you know I hate it. But at the same time, like, this one here just doesn't make sense. I had a person I respect, okay? Person I don't think knows a lot about the emotional side of wrestling. All right? I'm not calling you out. I love you no matter what, okay? But I was told, how can you like a guy that only has 4 moves? I said this the other day. How many freaking moves did Hulk Hogan have? Right? I don't look at moves. I look at emotion. I look at facial expressions. I look at storytelling. You know what? If you do 4 moves and you do all 4 of those damn moves as good as anybody in the world, you're pretty freaking good wrestler. Right? And that's the way I look at it. I mean, Andre the Giant is thought of as maybe one of the greatest wrestlers, definitely the greatest big man of all time. The guy couldn't move. You know, especially late in his career. Early in his career, the guy could move. All right, we know that. He moved very, very well. But compare him to The Undertaker. The Undertaker can move, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the skill set isn't as huge as Kurt Angle. All right, you're not going to compare Jey Uso to Bret Hart. Like, why would you? That's not the way it goes. Jey Uso's not Dean Malenko, folks. But I got news for you. Dean Malenko's not Jey Uso. And that's the thing. It's not always about the fact that it's just a couple moves. Now, don't get me wrong. There's way too many super kicks in wrestling. All right. The super kick has gotten watered down. I'm going to do a segment on that, I think. Saturday short this week. I'm going to try to get to some super kick business. But that, we can tone it down. However, Jey Uso has one of the best super kicks in the business. It's not as good as his brothers, but it's still really, really good. That's it. I just don't understand it. I really don't. My note here, it says, why are you pissed? It's literally what it says. Why are you pissed? And that's my question. Why are you pissed? Be happy, man. Freaking ride this wave. And the wave, by the way, it looks like it is definitely taking us straight to Gunther. I want this. I don't want Jay Cody. And even if Cody's not holding that belt at the time, that's not what I want. I've thought about this. I've waited out. I want Jay Gunther. And the reason being, I was at the Atlanta Monday Night Raw. I felt the passion in that promo. And now to build off of this after the Rumble with this promo, give me Gunther. That's what it has to be. Gunther's the ring technician. All right. You don't think Jey Uso goes up as the underdog, the everyman that's going to go out and take that belt from Gunther. And the other thing is, guys, this enables Gunther to be a true heel. Okay. There's no way you're going to babyface Gunther with Jey Uso. With that said, if Gunther's taking on somebody else, I'm not so sure Gunther doesn't keep creating momentum, and eventually he's going to be cheered. Guys, I have been to live events. Gunther gets cheers. He gets a lot of them. All right. You don't hear him as well on TV, but I'm telling you, he gets live at a house show here locally in Augusta not long ago. The guy got one of the bigger pops of the show. Like, he is very popular. But going against Jay, it lets him take that level of evil heel to the very tip top. All right. And notice I said evil heel. We're not going chicken shit heel with Gunther. All right. Gunther is going to go. He's not going to back out. If he's going to win, it's probably going to be clean. And to be honest with you, he's not going to fight dirty a lot. But what he is going to do is punch you in the fucking face. Right? He is going to chop a hole through your chest. He is going to be arrogant. He's going to tell you how good he is. Guys, that's classic heel. That's classic heel. And you know what that classic heel ends up doing? After he fights Jey Uso, he probably climbs up and becomes a babyface. All right. That is if the belt changes hands, because who knows? Who knows where we could go with that? So anyway, I'm totally here for it. I'm glad we're going to get that. I hope we're going to get that. We know we're getting Jay on SmackDown Friday night. He said he's going to talk to his boy Cody. So we'll kind of see the direction that he decides to go right there. So moving on with Raw, we had another Penta sighting, right? Penta versus Ludwig Kaiser. Penta, it was. Let me rephrase. This match was decent. Penta's great. I like Kaiser. But this match was clunky. It really got clunky at the end. Sometimes people just aren't good dance partners, and I kind of thought maybe that was it. But at the same time, I'm going to hold out hope that if these guys go again, that we can make it better. And honestly, the end was really the clunkiest part of it. And it was almost like we struggled to get to the finish. Some of the spots in it were really good. I mean, guys, Penta's freaking good. Penta can really go. And I want to say this, too. I know a lot of people don't really get in here now, especially in modern times of professional wrestling. People don't really get into Lucha Libre. But I'm telling you, as far as a Lucha Libre technician and getting to the crowd, Penta does it as well as anyone I've ever seen. His claps are always receptive. And by the way, that is a Lucha Libre thing. The claps, the stomps, getting the crowd involved. Lucha Libre is all about crowd involvement. So is professional wrestling as a whole. They just do a little bit more clapping and cheerleading with it. And I'm telling you, I like that. That's one of the reasons I like AEW as far as seeing those different matchups we get with luchadors and the different styles, is because you get to see not just the adaptation of the styles, but you get to see the styles flourish. And Penta's bringing that to the WWE screen, and I love it. Not to say that like LWO and those guys aren't a solid lucha organization, right? Santos is very good, by the way. All right, Santos is very good, but I just like to see that we're bringing this new attention to luchadors, to lucha libre. By the way, you better watch your back though, because Chad Gable is somewhere studying the dark arts of lucha libre with the idea of taking out Penta and taking out Rey Mysterio. Okay, I'm good with it because Chad Gable makes everybody look good. And to be honest with you, I said this last week. If I can get more Gable Penta, I just take my money. I'm good with it. Keep letting, not like Carmelo and Andrade, where they were seem to be wrestling every Friday night on SmackDown. Like I don't want it every Monday night, but maybe if you could give me they say twice a month, I'll take Gable versus Penta. Okay, Penta goes over in that match, by the way, and we end. Pete Dunne comes down. Butch, he comes down. I don't know. Can we do better for Penta? Or are we getting another like European type faction here with Kaiser and Pete Dunne? Gunther's obviously probably doing his own thing. By the way, Gunther and Pete Dunne have a ton of history in professional wrestling over in Europe. So that's actually kind of an interesting little twist that they could do there. However, I just don't know. I don't know the direction of that. Right now, Penta is just going to stay on this winning streak, and he's probably going to take on some more credible people as we move forward. But at the same time, I don't know. I just don't see the direction. And like my note says, can we do better? I'm not sure. I will wait. I'm not going to say it sucks. It doesn't suck. The match was kind of iffy, but next time will be better. I don't know. I will see what happens there. All right. After that, we got. Are you ready? Bow down. All hail the queen. That is right. The queen is back. Charlotte is back. I am so excited. Really, all hail. Bow down. The greatest women's wrestler of all time is back. She's getting exactly what she deserves. And I'm going to tell you right now, people are crazy. Okay? You're mad that Charlotte won the Rumble? Like, these are the same people that are mad that Jay won the Rumble. And I get it. The Charlotte argument is a lot better. But the argument I keep seeing is that Charlotte comes back and then we immediately take her straight to the main event of WrestleMania. No shit. Like, really? Why wouldn't you? She's the hottest ticket in female wrestling. Anytime she steps in the ring, she's going to be the hottest ticket in female wrestling. Like, and you don't understand that. That's fine. And by the way, I'm not talking about the boos of the crowd. Charlotte will eat that up. She wasn't prepared for it. You could tell that. It caught her off guard, and it kind of made the promo a little sketch at the beginning. Then she bled into it. But I'm telling you, the boos are fine. First off, Charlotte's a better heel than she is a baby anyway. We know that. I mean, hell, look at who her dad is. But think about this, okay? Charlotte necessarily doesn't have to cheat to win. Rick wasn't always completely clean. We know that. However, Rick wasn't always completely dirty either. And sometimes he let his wrestling speak for itself. That's what we're going to get out of the Queen, okay? And I'm telling you, if there's somebody out there that deserves this more than Charlotte, who is it? Like, really, tell me who it is. The only argument you could possibly give would be Rhea, and she's already champion. She's not even going to compete in that match. So that's the thing. I don't understand the arguments to Charlotte. Charlotte I say she's the greatest women's wrestler of all time. In my opinion, there are some other ones that are close. We need to do a Mount Rushmore maybe of women's wrestling. Step up our Mount Rushmore game. We'll see. But at the same time, like, who deserves it more? I just don't see it. I really don't see it. And, I know the women's Rumble match got some bad rap, and I don't get it. I really don't, because I thought it was a good match. It could have been better, but at the same time, give me Charlotte all day. On top of that, Charlotte, we know she went to NXT. I'll briefly talk about that here in a little bit. She's going to be on SmackDown on Friday, making her decision. Well, Charlotte, Queen, take on Rhea. I want you and Rhea. I will say this. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. The Rhea Charlotte match at WrestleMania 39, to me, is the greatest women's match of all time. All right. I have not seen two women that could go at that level for that length of time and the whole crowd completely edge of their seat, completely captivated. Like it was a excellent, perfect WrestleMania match. So, give it to me again. Like, why wouldn't we? And honestly, they mentioned the other day, Rhea says, I beat you at WrestleMania 39. But then Charlotte comes back and said, I beat you at WrestleMania 2. Not WrestleMania 2, WrestleMania also, I should say. Come on, you're better than that, Matt. But, I mean, seriously, you've already went at it twice. You've split. You're 1-1. Why the hell wouldn't you give us a third? Maybe there's more story out there that I'm missing. And again, we got time. I mean, we have time, so we won't rush this. We will slow burn. But I mean, seriously, like, give me that. Give us Rhea Charlotte, please. What else did we have? New Day, right? New Day, first off, New Day with a new entrance. I like that. It led more to the heel vibe. New Day taking on Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio, or Rey Mysterio Jr. if in 1997 in WCW. But Rey always looks great. Dragon Lee looked solid. We hadn't really seen him in the match. He kind of looked just a little off, but it wasn't bad. Uh, but you know what? New Day needed this win. They did. And I'm loving the whole New Day sucks. New Day sucks. Like, this is such a good heel run for them. It won't stick. It won't stay. I don't think we have years of this ahead of us. Maybe with Woodsy, not with Kofi. Kids love Kofi, right? But I love the new gear. I love the new entrance. Everything was good. And to be honest with you, they needed that win. All right. To solidify them to get involved in the tag team situations we have, like the War Raiders and Alpha or American Made that we said. I almost said Alpha Academy. American Made that we saw. We're obviously going to work out something with them in the tag belts as well. We saw that promo backstage. So yeah, they needed a win in order to get that in there. And guys, like them or hate them, New Day is one of the greatest tag teams of all time. And if they're in there wrestling with the War Raiders, it's going to give them more credibility. So it can only help the whole program moving forward. So it was needed. The other thing I wrote on that note is, and I'm just going to read it exactly how I said it. Damn, I still love Ray. And I do. I do. Ever since the freaking late 90s with WCW and the Luchador explosion with the Cruiserweight division, I have been a Rey Mysterio guy for a very, very long time. Rey Mysterio's debut on Raw is still to this day one of my favorite Raw debuts of all time. Might be second. I have to really think. I know Jericho's is my favorite. But like that Rey debut, everybody was waiting for it. And I'm going to tell you, Ray is the best little man in the history of the game. He's the best luchador in the history of the game, and he can still freaking wrestle. And honestly, watching him and the interactions in the match with Kofi, I mean, it is a damn masterpiece. And Ray, still to this day, doesn't miss a beat. But the biggest thing about Ray is he's there to help other people too. He doesn't mind to put people over, and you could see that, and it's definitely there. And man, you can only imagine the stuff that he's guiding these people on in the locker room. He's got to be the tip top of that leadership in the locker room. He's got it's done it all, man, from every level and in every place around the world, like literally. Rey Mysterio. I don't think we give him enough appreciation. I really don't. So this is my Rey Mysterio I love you appreciation post, and please don't retire anytime soon because you can still absolutely go. All right. We had Liv versus Io. That was our first Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Liv goes over there. Io looked fantastic. Io's the future of women's wrestling, and if you don't see it, like I just that's on you. I will say the finish was a little weird. I guess it's because of Raquel Rodriguez. That ain't working for me. It ain't working for me. She doesn't even seem like a heater. Let's be honest. All right. Rodriguez is Liv Morgan's heater. All right. But if Liv and Raquel were in a match together, who would you pick? I would pick Liv. Like right there. So to me, the idea of that heater doesn't even play. Like it doesn't even work. A heater is supposed to be dominant. And guys, let's be honest. Raquel Rodriguez gets her ass kicked almost every time she gets involved in a match. So, yeah, I'm not okay with that. And I thought the match ended up clunky. Liv going over had to happen. We need Liv in the Elimination Chamber 100%. However, it's almost a little disappointing to see Io not get it. Maybe there can be a secondary situation. We all know what the Empress of the Sky can do, and we all know like in a high risk match like the Elimination Chamber, there's no one better in today's game than Io Sky. So we'll see what happens. I really, really love that match though. Seth gave us a decent little promo, coming out looking like skinny Rob Zombie. I wasn't really sure what direction Seth would go when he came out. Um, we're driving towards heel Seth. Guys, Seth's a better wrestler when he's a heel. Everybody knows that. And maybe it's time that we get rid of the puffy shirts and the loud sunglasses. I don't know. I don't know if we can run heel with that. I'm good with it. But man, Seth deserves a high level story. He does. I think we're gonna get a high level story with Seth. They're setting up something, but I don't know exactly the direction that something is going. That's the thing. I keep thinking that we're gonna get Seth Roman. But then again, I keep thinking that CM Punk is involved in this as well. So are we going to get a triple threat match at WrestleMania? Time will tell. Time will tell, but they're definitely setting up something different with Seth. Here's a decent idea. What about Seth and KO teaming up in order to take out those who've wronged them? I don't know. And in real life, they are like two of the best friends that exist. So, I mean, that's a possibility. I think there is definitely a direction they're going to head. We don't know which direction that is yet, but it's going to be pretty good. I do think it's going to be pretty good, especially if Seth is heel. All right. Guys, the main event match. Oh my God. Oh my God. I know we're running out of time and I still got to do NXT. But Raw was good. So, but my CM Punk and Sami Zayn put on the match of the year. That was one of the best freaking dance recitals I've ever seen. They'd never wrestled before. Those two had never wrestled before, and it looked like they had wrestled each other 400 times earlier that day. Like, that's how good both of those guys are. And guys, Sammy fucking Zayn, man. El Generico till the day I die. That guy can just freaking present so much raw emotion in just a single glance. He has it like Roman, but in a different way. You know, it's just the one look that he can give you so much despair, and you feel it in your heart for him. And then you got Punk, who can really play that arrogant, I'm not a heel, but most people probably think I'm a heel that I work with, but in reality, I can do no wrong because the crowd loves me. You know, cult of personality, baby. And that was great. Punk going over had to happen. We need Punk in the Elimination Chamber. But my God, did they get me at the end? The best in the world goes over, obviously. And then out of nowhere, we get KO jumping Sami Zayn. The two best friends, former tag team champions, come up together from Colombia, right? Ring of Honor heroes. These dudes are going to put on a show. So, like, I didn't expect it. And then out of nowhere, KO hits him. And immediately I'm like, oh, yes, please, 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 please. Give me more of this. If I get KO Sammy at WrestleMania, I don't give a damn if it's the opening match. I don't give a damn where it's at. If it's KO versus Sammy at WrestleMania, it's going to steal the show. And whoever goes on after them better hope that the crowd goes to the concession stand. That's it. I mean, that match is going to steal the show. You called it here first. Now, will it happen? I don't know. So we shall see. But so glad we got that set. 2 Elimination Chamber matches there. We got more coming up. And I'm excited. I gave the show a B plus, and honestly, I was very close to giving it an A minus. There were just a couple misses there. Just a couple misses, I thought. So that brings us to NXT. Guys, NXT was up and down. It wasn't the greatest NXT, but we're getting to that point of Vengeance Day that they're trying to create the build. So I kind of understand that. I'm going to go pretty fast here on this. First off, opening match, Stephanie McCure versus JC Jane. Fantastic match. Stephanie McCure. We definitely are setting her up for that North American title versus Fallon. We know that. We're going to get that at Vengeance Day, and I'm okay with it. They need to put some gold on Stephanie pretty quick. I really do, because I don't think she's going to be at NXT long. I really don't. I see her at the main roster pretty quick. Probably why they didn't put the main strap on her. Probably why they put that strap on Julia and not Stephanie, because I see Stephanie making a jump very fast. All right. Give me Stephanie Jordan Grace. Oh, my God. Yeah, I'd watch that for days, right? So we had Ridge versus Stacks. And honestly, guys, I just said no thanks. My note says no thanks. It wasn't a good match. It had zero rhythm. It had zero rhythm. And what sucks is going into that, I previewed it the other day and I said I was really looking forward to that match. Really fell flat. Really fell flat. It wasn't great. Lexis King had a good promo. Lexis King challenging himself and fighting against the ghost of his father. And Brian Pillman, rest in peace, the loose cannon. And Lexis changes the rules for the Heritage Cup and all. Guys, Lexis King is fucking good. I know his facial hair is the stupidest thing you'll ever see in your life. I told my wife, she's like, what is that ridiculousness? And I said, but you're talking about it. You're talking about it, right? So there it is. But it's fucking stupid, right? It's not cool. And guess who comes out? JDC from TNA, Fandango. He kind of messed up his promo a little bit, but challenges for the Heritage Cup, says the system wants more gold, so we're getting that bleed over with TNA and NXT. And guys, I'm telling you, if we got a JDC versus Lexis King match, it's going to be really, really exciting. Those guys can go. And honestly, JDC, for if you don't like the gimmicks or whatever, that's fine. But in the ring, he is so good, and he's so good for younger wrestlers, especially. So I would be okay with that. We had Sol Ruka and Zarya taking on Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley. Sol and Zarya go over there. What else did we have? Kalani Jordan looked fantastic against Carmen Petrovic. I'm loving this mean Kalani that we're getting right now. I think that's really, really fun. What else did we have here? By the way, Kalani can go. Kalani can go. She's still raw. She's still not quite there. She's not anywhere close to the main roster yet, but her build is going to keep going. There is so much potential with Kalani Jordan. What else we had our main event, right? We had Trick and Oba tagging up against A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. The match kind of went like I thought it would. You know, they weren't going to get along. A-Town Down Under goes over. We're still setting up for a four-way match there, I think, at Vengeance Day. Trick looks really good, and I still like this out-of-control, pissed-off Trick. It's fun. Eddie Thorpe, though, again, making the appearance, carrying his Indian strap, right, or Native American strap, and beats the piss out of Trick with it. So are we going to get the Fatal 4-Way, or are we going to get Trick versus Eddie first? Didn't we just have that a month ago? Like, I'm not real sure the direction of that, but Trick looks really good right now. And I've been kind of on Trick. I haven't been a huge Trick guy, and I want to say he looks very, very good. Last thing I want to mention on NXT, my boy, Javon Evans, if he gets cleared, he's going to get his chance at Ethan Page. That was a really good backstage segment. It was simple, it was to the point, and you saw the veteran in Page really trying to help Javon Evans, even if it didn't look like it. By the way, Javon, healthy, quick, we need you back in the ring. You are literally the future of this business, okay? So overall, NXT, I scored it a C+. It wasn't as good as I expected it to be. My expectations were way higher than that. Now, the one thing that did go over completely well on NXT to me was the Bayley, Roxanne, Julia Summit. Charlotte coming out, making her presence felt. I'm very interested to see what direction all of this goes, whether it be Julia, Roxanne, mixing Bayley into the match with that Vengeance Day. Either way, very excited for that. But C+ on the NXT show. Now, before we go, guys, we got AEW Dynamite tonight. The card is stacked. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm predicting best show so far of the year for AEW Dynamite. I hope I nail it. It is taking place at Center Stage up in Atlanta. I wish I could be there, but, you can't miss so much school. So I do have an education to give to these children. So, that is going to be great. What do we have for Dynamite tonight? The main event. I hope it's the main event. We got Swerve versus Ricochet. Bring your toilet paper, people. We are going to see Trevor get bombarded, and we are going to see Swerve do his thing. We got the Hounds of Hell, Buddy Matthews and Brody King. They're going to take on Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher of the Callis family. We're going to get Will Ospreay versus a surprise member of the Don Callis family. My bet is it's Lance Archer. My bet is Lance Archer since Brian Cage got the one-on-one match last week. We got Toni Storm, my girl, greatest female wrestler going right now. By the way, Toni and Charlotte, those are my two favorites. I don't know if you figured that out yet. But we got Toni versus Queen Aminata. That should be actually a very competitive match. I've never seen Queen Aminata wrestle. She's very, very good. And then we'll have an appearance from MJF. We'll have an appearance from Hangman Page. I assume we're going to see Jeff Jarrett. Hopefully we see Chris Jericho, even though they just got back from the cruise. I want to go on that, by the way. So yeah, we got a lot to come. They're not giving away everything, but I think it's going to be a great card. So tune in tonight, TBS, 8 o'clock, and I will recap Dynamite on Friday. I will also recap TNA, which we will talk about on Friday. Cannot wait for the TNA show. And guys, we're gonna get set for SmackDown. Hey, this has been the Slow Burn though. Stick with us, reach out to us, email, Facebook machine, whatever you can do. Because I'm enjoying the hell out of this, folks, talking wrestling. This is the Slow Burn. Remember, guys, we're wrestling everything. Stay on top.